Hello, wrestling fans, boxing fans, and everybody out there. It's Riot Time. Wrestling and boxing forever. Now, here's what I know so far, folks. I'm going to start talking about Game Changer Wrestling. They had the first annual Independent Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. Some of the inductees were Jerry Lynn, Homicide, X-Pac, and a guy named Ruckus. Now, Jerry Lynn, he's the guy who pushed Rob Van Dam to and beyond his limits for the ECW World Television Championship, and they created classics. Jerry Lynn is also the guy who won the WWE Light Heavyweight Championship and had some great classic matchups in the WWE over the Light Heavyweight Championship. Longtime opponent of Jerry Lynn was Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac. Those guys traded the GWF, Global World Wrestling Federation, Light Heavyweight Championship on several different occasions. They wrestled each other in WWE over the Light Heavyweight Championship. Sean Waltman, former WCW, WWE, Light Heavyweight / Cruiserweight Champion. He held both belts at the same time after beating Billy Kidman in a unification match. The unification matchup was for the WCW and WWE Light Heavyweight Cruiserweight Championships, respectively. During the invasion in 2001. Another guy that was in that Hall of Fame was a guy named Homicide. Homicide, former Impact Wrestling X Division Champion, Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champion, former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, and current NWA National Wrestling Alliance competitor. He's in the finals of the Junior Heavyweight Championship tournament. And there's a guy that his name is Ruckus. I don't know that very much about Ruckus, but I do remember he did compete for the NWA World Heavyweight title on a few occasions back when Tim Storm was champion. Like I said, Jeff Jarrett was on the card. Matt Cardona was on the card. Nick Gage was there. Scotty 2 Hotty. Scott Taylor. Scott Taylor. Joey Janela. And John Moxley, Homicide. Game Changer Wrestling put on one hell of a show. And congratulations and shout out to all the independent wrestlers that got their recognition, being the first ever independent inductees into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all of you. And Peter Avalon, former United Wrestling Network and NWA talent, signed with All Elite Wrestling, but his contract has expired He will be taking independent dates. He made that announcement on his Twitter. So he might show up in All Elite Wrestling from time to time on a pay-by-date basis. Let's see, what else? He could go back to the United Wrestling Network. He could end up back in the NWA. Who knows? But Peter Avalon's contract with All Elite Wrestling is up. Speaking of All Elite Wrestling, Frankie Kazarian, he signs a new deal with All Elite Wrestling. Leo Rush, his contract will be up February 14th. His contract will be expiring February 14th. It'll be fun to see where he ends up. It'll be fun to see where he ends up. Tonight is All Elite Wrestling, and I was watching Dynamite, and Sammy Guevara is the undisputed TV champion after one hell of a ladder match. Ring of Honor Wrestling says that they have a major announcement coming soon. They got a pay-per-view coming short. They got a pay-per-view coming. Some announcements to be made about them very soon. Let's see. CM Punk came out to the ring and called out MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, and no response. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. NXT and the Dusty Rhodes Classic the tournament is going on right now. The WWE has obtained the use of former WCW events, uncensored, and Super Brawl. They trademarked those. NXT's got a pay-per-view coming called Vengeance Day or something like that. Like I said, the Dusty Rhodes Classic is going on. And it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar had their weigh-in on Raw. So, let's talk some boxing right now. Shout out to Kurt DeVille, Counterpunch Boxing. Shout out to Bruce Bain. Shout out to Mr. Heavyweight Boxing Today. Boxing Squared for news and views around the sport of boxing. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to everybody who covers the sports of wrestling and boxing. I have no problem with anybody disagreeing with my point of view or my opinions. That's what you guys do. According to Kurt DeVille, Anthony Joshua shuts down any step aside money. conversations. But then we find out that this was covered by Kurt DeVille, by the way. Shouts out to him. It was covered by him that an offer was made for Joshua to step aside. Something like $15 million or something like that. Something like 15 million pounds, which I believe is $15 million in the United States. I'm not sure. But there was an offer made for Joshua to step aside. Although it's not clear on whether or not Joshua would take it. People can make offers all they want to. It doesn't matter. You can make offers. It doesn't mean that the guy's going to take it. Joshua said that he hasn't seen any contracts or anything like that. He said he's the guy that controls his destiny in boxing. He's a businessman first and foremost. And, that's that. Shouts out to Anthony Joshua for stepping up and putting to rest a whole lot of hoopla. Shouts out to him for stepping up and putting to rest a lot of noise and nonsense. Like I said before, Terrence Bud Crawford said that he's willing to move up to 154 and fight the winner of Brian Castano or Jermell Charlo. I believe that Brian Castano should already be champion. Like I said, I think that they protected Jermell, giving him that draw. But if you ask me, Brian Castano should be champ already. Jermell hasn't proved anything to me. I would love to see a third fight with Tony Harrison, but Tony Harrison, let me tell you about them boys from Detroit. They know how to fight. They do. And they will learn, adapt, and come back stronger and win. Or even if they don't win, they'll make adjustments and do better than you ever thought they could. But trust me, they're coming to win. Because that's the same attitude that we have here in New Jersey. We're coming to win every single minute of every single second. You're going to have to kill us to stop us. That's how we are here in Jersey. You're going to have to kill us to stop us. And people in New Jersey, in Detroit, they're the same way. You got to kill them to stop them. There's a lot of people that went through Detroit and got better as professional boxers. Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko brothers. Even Tony Harrison and Emmanuel Stewart had his hands in a lot of boys. A lot of fighters. Like I said, the Klitschko brothers, the Tony Harrison, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield even. So Detroit has turned out some champions for real in the sport of boxing. From Tony Harrison to James Toney to Floyd Mayweather Jr. to legendary names such as Tommy Hearns and So, top of the line talents from the Klitschko brothers, James Toney, the Floyd Mayweather, Tony Harrison, those Detroit boys, they know how to fight. Jermell didn't want a third fight with Tony Harrison because he knew that Tony Harrison could end up beating him. And I'd like to see Tony Harrison get back in the ring. Then I'd like to see him with another championship around his waist. So, back to what I was saying. Do I believe that Terrence Bud Crawford can do something at 154? Absolutely. Absolutely. And another person who was talking about going up to 154 was Danny Garcia. So, we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, I believe Brian Castano is already the champ. It's just about claiming the belts. Like I said before, they protected Jermell by giving him that draw. And you could disagree if you want. I don't care if you disagree. That's your right. Riot time. Wrestling and boxing forever. I'm out.